I'm Arthur Moats, and I'm here to tell you about my new book, The Moats Theory of Life. If you haven't picked up a copy yet, I strongly encourage you to. This book not only is a fun read, but it's a guide to helping you become a person of impact and inspiration. If you are ready to take the next step to improving not only your life, but those around you as well, go get a copy of The Moats Theory of Life, and it's available at moatstheory.com. What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, dude?
Man, you know what's up. You see the hat? I told you, hat comes off of top 3 finishes only now. And this weekend, my man went bag to bag like Drizzy Drake, and not top 3. We talking numero uno, man. He won both races at Michigan, man. Absolutely dominated the competition, both races. And I was doing a little research. After he won on Sunday, he's won Michigan 4 of the last 5 times he's raced that track, like straight owned it. It was beautiful, man. And I'm talking about yours truly, Kevin Harvick. Y'all know that hat, baby. Y'all, hey. It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful.
So what was the difference between the 2 wins? Because I was watching some highlights. I did a little research for it. I was like, you know what? Let me give this dude his props here. Moats is excited. Let me check it out, see what everything was all about.
Especially after what you said the other episode too.
What'd I say?
Hey man, should you be worried? Is he tempering off?
It was just a question.
I mean, did he peak too soon? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it over? I just don't know. And I was like, you'll see. Yeah, buddy.
So the first one, well, he's got a new car. Is this a new car just for this weekend?
Well, technically, each race they have a new car out there, and
the colorway though.
Oh yeah, the color. Yeah, he's used that car wrap before.
Okay.
Yeah, with the
I just haven't
like
seen
the
it.
Apple.
Yeah,
like
it's the Apple Bush Light.
Yeah.
So the first one I was watching, I think Bush was in the lead for a decent amount, and then he comes and takes over, and then you were telling me he was in the lead for what, like 100 laps or something like that?
Yeah, so literally he won every stage on Saturday. So for those who know, we're talking about Michigan Speedway, and the Saturday race was called the Firekeepers Casino 400. Then Sunday it was called the Consumers Energy 400. Same exact track, just different marketing for each race and everything like that. But the Saturday race, yeah, man, from start to finish, man. Like,
well, am I wrong? Was Bush I saw what highlight where he passed him. Yeah. It almost looked like he hit him.
Yeah,
but then he just flew.
So that was I think that was the one Saturday.
I think so too. Yeah.
Because Sunday he had another one where he almost crashed. It might have been Jimmy Johnson, if I remember correctly, where he came close and he actually like ended up crashing. But the whole debate was, did he hit him or did he not hit him? I don't think he hit him. It was close though. It was like minuscule, like. Yeah, but they said a lot of times the pressure too, when you're going that fast, the air pressure off the front of the car can cause that car that you're coming up on to fishtail a little bit, and that's ultimately what ended up happening.
Oh yeah, with the Bush one, it definitely looked like it hit him. Yeah. But they were saying
that might be. Yeah, I'm tripping. I think I'm talking about Saturday's Kyle Busch one, because Sunday it didn't have that, but Saturday, yes,
it definitely, because like he was like squiggling like back and forth a little bit. And they said he didn't hit him, so that must be it. Where
the 18 car, the M&M car.
Yeah, if you get close enough, there must be something to it where you're right. The air, it flows differently, and somehow it screws you up a little bit.
Because I mean, they got within inches of each other. But the thing that I will say is this: when you talk about the pressure that's coming off the cars and hitting the cars, the front of Kevin Harvick's bumper was black, and he not once touched anybody on the front of his bumper, but you could just see marks, and they were saying it was from the pressure from when he was out front driving, just going out hard against the I think they said, I forgot what they call it, but it's something about the pressure and the airflow, how it like hits against the front of the car, ultimately pushing it down. But that's why he's able to still continue to go fast and things like that. But yeah, it was nuts.
Why was he able to dominate for the first one?
Man, I think for this one, man, the car was running great. Remember I talked about the past couple races where he was struggling. I was like, he's had
some shoddy cars.
Where there was tire issues, where he got caught on the pit wrong or whatever. This was the opposite.
Yeah.
Everything was just flowing. The car was running great. And because he was able to get out front early, he had clean air the whole time. So we talked about how I mean, he led 92 laps on Saturday and he won every stage. We talk about how you get points for winning the stage, but a lot of times with Harvick, he doesn't traditionally win the stages. He'll just win the race at the end.
Or finish top 5 or something.
Yeah, and that's typically how it goes for him. But this race, just from the beginning, he was able to get out front and ultimately build on that. And it was just, when you got certain tracks that you just own, I mean, you talk about a guy out of the past, 5 times you raced on that track, you won it 4 times now. You have a familiarity with it. You know that track inside and out. And you could just tell the way he was driving on the track, the lines he was taking, even how aggressive he was at certain times. And I will say this, the Saturday race, more so than Sunday, even with him dominating the race, the ending was still very up in the air. I mean, we're talking about, I think it was 9 caution flags that took place on Saturday, but at the end, it was probably like 3 or 4 back to back right before the race was supposed to end. And each time I'm watching, I got, my little man Gray, we got my wife with me. I'm like, oh, we're about to win it. It's about to be over. No, caution, because every time it's a caution, we get overtime.
It's like a reset.
Yeah, and you get the green, white checkered. So regardless of how much of a lead he might have had, now you're starting off from a dead start, along with the fact that whoever is behind you is ultimately going to dictate your success, because you saw the race where they had to push, and then everybody went crazy like, oh man, he got to push, and I say won. Well, once again, it was a similar concept, but this time it had to happen multiple times with different people. Shout out to Chase Elliott too, because he was ultimately the guy that helped my man Harvick be able to get that win at the end, because literally it would have been the second caution, I think it was. Chase Elliott's on one side, Bubba Wallace on the other side, and it's Harvick at the front, and I think it might have been Kozlowski in number 2. And literally, you see them pushing, and Bubba was just like a second slower, whereas Chase, who's typically in the top 10, top 5 area, is more accustomed to pushing. You could just see when they linked up how, even though, Bubba had connected with the bumper, it still didn't have the same type of push. You could just see he wasn't as skilled in that department because he hasn't done it as often as some of those other guys. I mean, with Harvick and them, they're constantly up at the front. So anytime it's a caution, they're constantly the ones having to go through those pushing to get out of there. And man, it just paid dividends. And my man was able to get that dub. Man, I was going crazy. But literally, it was like 3 or 4 times right at the end of the race where it's caution, green, white, checkered. Oh, we're going to overtime again. It felt like sudden death. Like, oh, is this it? This is it. Ah, all right, not yet. Okay, here we go. Oh, not yet. But he finally was able to get it done. And then Sunday, the reason I was more impressed with Sunday's win than Saturday's.
Different, right? Completely different.
Yeah, because the way it works is this. Because it's the double header, they invert the field. So whereas he started in the front of the field on Saturday and ultimately dominated and won, this time, because he won the race, he started at 20. And had to work his way up throughout the race and things like that. But he still, I mean, you could just tell the way his car was running, it was just destiny, man. It looked good. And yeah, it paid dividends. And then also, man, we got milestones for my man Harvick too, man. Because I ain't even said. So here we go. All right. So he's fine. He won his 5th race this season. Okay. Well, no. Actually, he won his 6th race this season. So he did tie Denny Hamlin at first. Remember the Jordan sponsorship with Denny Hamlin? Drives the FedEx car. So initially they were tied Saturday when he got his 5th one. He took the lead Sunday when he won his 6th race, which was huge in terms of leading.
Wait, Hamlin caught him in the standings?
No, just in terms of races won.
Okay.
Yeah. So like we talked about, like for the points, it goes races won, laps led, stages won, and all that. So it's a lot of variables.
Yeah, Harvick has better overall finishes than
correct. But the races won, Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick have been going back and forth all season. Yeah. So like I said, remember when Denny won last weekend, that's why I was like, oh, he has the lead now in terms of more races won. But with Harvick going back to back this weekend, now he took the lead. He has 6 wins compared to Denny Hamlin's 5. Then also he moved up, man. He moved up on the all-time wins list. So Saturday when he had 54 career wins. Then he tied Lee Petty to be 11th on the all-time wins list. But then he turned around.
Top 10.
Yeah, then he turned around and won on Sunday. So he has 55 career wins and he ties Rusty Wallace all-time 10th.
That's a big name, right?
Absolutely, man. So this is a big-time thing for my man Harvick, which is why you see me out here in all my splendor. Because I'm like, not only did he win 2 big-time races back-to-back, he's closing out the season strong. I believe it's 4 races left. Okay, it ends in Daytona for the regular season. Then from there you go playoffs. So you talk about getting hot at the right time. This was a big time back-to-back.
Wait, there's only 4 races left?
4 regular season races left.
Then how long are the playoffs?
Well, the playoffs still confusing to me right now because they have literally. I gotta read the rules again, but it's not like a one race thing. It's apparently like a 4 or 5 race playoff, and you get
the PGA Tour FedEx Cup. I don't know how familiar you are with the FedEx Cup, but that's how it is. That's what they do. So it's basically. Actually, I'm not gonna lay this all out because NASCAR could be different. You know what I mean? Like I could lay out the whole PGA Tour, but it's like a week. Yeah, they have 4 weeks, and basically your regular season points are weighed into it a little bit because that's how the start of the playoff is in your standings. But then depending on how you finish in the first tournament, there's going to be a cutoff point. I don't know if they do cuts or anything like that.
I'm about to find out right here. All right, here we go. So the NASCAR Cup Series version of the playoff system is often called the Chase for the Cup. It includes 16 drivers that compete for the championship in the final 10 races of the Cup Series. The first 9 races are divided into 3 rounds, with 4 participants being eliminated after each round.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So it's I guess it's kind of like that, but it's only 16 drivers to start off.
Well, everyone's going to be driving, but only 16 of them are actually counting for the race.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll have the full.
How do you feel if you're not one of those 16?
You still got the full fill. So, all right, so how they qualify?
Should at least have everyone involved. Just at least give them a chance. Like if they go on a hot run, let them stay in the playoffs, but still be lower in the standings. No, that's how the PGA Tour works.
I think they are though.
Because if it's just the 16, man, what's the incentive for the other? I mean, obviously money and just saying that you want to race, but man, you'd at least, if you win a race or two, at least get me in the playoff contention again.
We're about to find out right here.
So I'm not getting cut.
This the beauty of of having a computer right on set, man. We're gonna find out for you. Because I had to make sure that I found the right one because I didn't know if they were changing it because of the whole COVID situation.
Oh, got you. That was the old rules.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure I had the most accurate.
So how many? So it's gonna last a while. How many races is it?
All right, so here we go. Below's look. Round of 16. The 2020 NASCAR Cup Series starts on September 6th. Okay. From there, the series ahead to Richmond. The round ends under the lights. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Because we talked about it ends in November, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a wow.
Yeah, but it's not saying the exact things that we're looking for right now. I might just pull up the old format and see if that changed anything. Because this would have been in 2019 when this came out.
Okay. At least we could try to make sense of it.
Yeah. So you win a race during the regular season and finish within the top 3 of the standings. That's how you qualify. Okay. And then how do you advance? You win one of the 3 races in any given round, and you advance to the next round. The rest of the spots are filled based on playoff points. Okay.
Playoff points, I'm assuming, are the playoff points accumulated throughout the regular season?
So playoff points are won based on performance during the regular season.
How about that?
They are added to a driver's playoff point total before each round. Yep. Each driver starts out with 2,000 points in the round of 16, plus the playoff points they won during the season. Points total resets every round. Okay.
Points total reset? What?
Yeah, it says your point totals reset every round, though.
But your regular season points are still added then?
That's what it is. That's what it's saying right here, man.
That is kind of like the PGA. I don't know if they necessarily reset it each round, but your regular season points are definitely weighed into your playoff points. So say you have a crazy good regular season.
That's
Tiger
won.
Tiger Woods is 1 in the world, and maybe he has 2 bad first rounds in the 4 out of the 4 playoff matches. So he's going to probably still be in it for the third one. It's not like he's going to be getting cut because of how good his regular season was. Okay. Maybe once you get to the third, though, if you have another crappy performance,
then your points are going to be caught up.
You might be cut for the fourth because I think for the fourth one, there's only 30 players that make it for the final one. There's 70 for the second to last one. And I think the first 2 are just like a normal field. It's like maybe in the hundreds, and then it drops down maybe 30 or 40 for the second one. But yeah, it sounds pretty similar to the PGA Tour, and I've always thought it was a pretty good format.
Hey man, I'm learning it, man, because this is totally different than any of the sports that I've ever followed beforehand. Typically with football, basketball, it's very simple. Even hockey is very simple in terms of how the playoff goes and stuff like that.
Now my question is
a little different, but I like it though.
Do you know if that championship at the end? See, with golf, the majors mean more than a FedEx Cup. Easily.
Okay.
Easily. You'd rather have one of the 4 majors than one of the FedEx Cup. But the FedEx Cup,
though?
You get more. Just the history behind all of it. Because they just started the FedEx Cup maybe 10 years ago, less than that. And there's just too much history with the majors, and that's always been the big thing in golf. So it's hard to just completely go above that with a new thing like the FedEx Cup. I think they were just trying to do that to bring more excitement, and because once you get past the PGA Championship, that's typically in August. That's the last major. Yeah, there's not too much excitement left in golf, but having the playoffs going into the fall
kind of gives people a little bit to
and there's a lot of money at stake, and having a tournament type of thing, it is definitely interesting. So, do you know if that is greater than? Is there like majors in?
Well, that's what I'm gonna check out. Actually, I have a dude that I was gonna hit up, man. That. Well, he's actually a beat writer for NASCAR. Okay. I was actually able to get in touch with him. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, because I got some questions. And that is one, because that's more of the history and understanding the culture of it versus what we're just finding online. I'm sure if you just Google online, hey, is the winning the Masters going to be better than winning the playoffs? Like, it's not going to be as clear cut. But for people that have been around it for a while now, and like you follow golf for years, you're like, yeah, you know what? This is actually bigger than this. So that will help out a lot. So I'm not even going to sit up here now like I know that, baby. I'm still new.
I'll tell you this, though. If you win the FedEx Championship, I think it's like $15 million. So
holy cow. What do you get for winning the Masters?
That is the nice thing. It's like all those are over $1 million.
Oh, man. What? Give me the playoffs, man. Jeez. 15. What are we talking about here, man?
It's still the majors.
Oh, so you get bragging rights though, man. Yeah, I'll take this cash. You can have them bragging rights, buddy. That's funny, man. But yeah, man, like I said, it was a great weekend for my man Harvick, man. I was super proud of him, man. And yeah, just ready for him to finish out this regular season strong. And then after that, I get to check out my first NASCAR playoffs. I'm really excited about it, man. I really am.
I would be too. It does sound pretty good. Like I said, the PGA is pretty solid in my opinion. It keeps the balance of, all right, I still had a good run in the regular season. If I don't have the best performance in the playoffs, I can still move on just because of the weight on my season's points. But yeah, I mean, it's just like a common sense thing. If they're doing it, it sounds like it's similar to the PGA Tour. I think it'll be good for you.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to learn that, man, because I'm like, I still haven't grasped, okay, man, so points carry over to here, and then that's that, and this is this, and then each round, all right, this is make the cut, that's not the cut. I'm like, March Madness, this definitely was single elimination. That's not this. Okay, it's not like a tournament bracket here. All right, I'm gonna figure this thing out. But yeah, man.
Yeah, that is the thing, because with NCAA tournament, you could be having a crappy regular season, but just get into the tournament.
So you get hot, you're good.
Exactly. This kind of mitigates that a little bit, where if you had a crappy regular season, you're just going to have a really hot playoff run to stay in it, at least, to compete for the championship at the end.
It's different.
It is a little different. I like it though. I like it. I definitely do. It's just different sports, different little caveats to them.
Well, that's why I'm excited about it, because this is going to be a totally new experience for me. I mean, as we just talked right here, like I'm still learning it on the fly, but it's going to be fun, man, because it's different. It's not like my traditional postseasons that I'm used to. Yeah. So I'm excited, man. It's going to be fun. But either way, man, y'all make sure y'all keep tuning into my main man Harvick as he goes crazy. Yeah, man, I was feeling good, man. He made me happy.
I know, you were really excited. You were texting me.
I was, bro. You know I'm right when I started texting, bro. Because usually I don't text. Nah, usually I just wait till you come over, we're going to have a conversation. But if I shoot you them texts, like, oh, yeah, he's feeling this one.
I think it's because of what I said last week.
It definitely was because of what you said. Like, I was turned up. I was extra amped. I'm like, nah, Deke, you going to learn today, Deke. He's good, Deke. That's all I kept thinking, bro.
It's cool, man. It made me laugh. I was like, oh, man, this is good.
And then when you done it again on Sunday, I said,
good weekend for Moats.
Oh, man. Then on Sunday, I said, yep, yeah, you're not going to hear the end of this one, baby. I am coming at you. Yes, sir. Take this tweet. I started to tag you on my IG post, too, man.
What?
I started to tag you when I was putting my stories up on IG. Winning.
I was tagged in it?
I started to tag you.
You started, but you didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
I was going to say, I don't remember that.
I thought about it. I was like, I should just.
Why not?
Just to add to it. Like, Deke, you see this right here?
Why didn't
this
you?
My God. I was too hyped. I ain't gonna lie, I was too hyped, bro.
What do you mean?
I was jumping around the house. Wife thought I was crazy.
Wait, but you probably had my name up there, and then you deleted it.
I thought about it. I was like,
wait.
Nah, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it to him. Yeah.
I would have been fine with it, dude.
I thought about it, though. I did think about it.
You definitely have my name there.
It would. I mean, your name obviously pops up because of how often I'm tweeting you or IGing you or Facebook or whatever it may be. Like your name pops up a lot.
Okay, but you just didn't click it.
Yeah. I was like,
I was gonna say because you could have clicked it and then deleted it.
Nah, see, if you delete it, that's personal. I ain't gonna delete it now. If it would have popped up there, I would have just let it go. But it was just like, oh, you hit the at button, and then as soon as you chilling with Deke, it's like, I'm actually going with the K here for Kevin Harvick. But all right, I appreciate you.
You're thinking about doubling it up.
Yeah. Damn, give me the chilling with Deke, Harvick, Stewart Haas, NASCAR. Who else can I tag? I don't know yet. But either way, still a game. Bump it.
Hey, you got to get the word out that you're a fan of these guys.
Hey, but I've been doing that, man. But what I've noticed too is this, and we talked about this a little bit before when the difference with the social medias and stuff like that, right? When I post him winning on IG, it's hit or miss if I get any reactions. Twitter though, if I tweet or like anything NASCAR when the race is going on, oh, people are tweeting back like, "Yo, you watching? Oh man, you see this right here? Who you got winning?"
Are these your followers or
these are just random
people just like on the feed? They see NASCAR.
So I've picked up random NASCAR followers solely off of doing that, man. Like NASCAR would put out something, and I'll retweet it, and then, oh, you watching NASCAR? And I'm like, yeah, my dog Harvick, and they're like, oh, and then before you know, we got a conversation going. I'm like, all right, and that's how, like I said, how I met the one cat who was a beat writer for NASCAR. And I was like, we're having this conversation. I'm like, hold on, man, like you are like advanced. I'm new.
No way.
Yeah, man, it was
blue
dope.
Check
bro.
Mark on him.
It was dope, bro. It was dope. Bro.
Did he? Wait,
it was dope, man.
He didn't have blue check mark.
Well, it was couple did, couple didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not saying that means anything.
Yeah,
it really doesn't, dude. Yeah. But I was just seeing if there was some cachet there.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I like this, man.
Dude, that's great, man. Yeah, that's wild. Like here's my question to you.
Oh, here we go.
Who is there a person right now you would want to interview or have on the show more than Kevin Harvick?
That is a racer or just around NASCAR in general?
No, in life, in sports.
Oh, just in sports. Man, this is different. I don't know. I mean, I always got people I want to interview. You know that, man.
I know, but it's
always
just
got people.
I don't know. It just seems like you got that fanhood for Harvick. I think it'd be a really cool thing. Just
it would be dope. No, trust me. He's priority number one, of course, unless LeBron, wherever they come around. But
LeBron then Harvick. I'm putting you on the spot here. I know you've talked about Ray Lewis before.
Bro.
Would you put Ray Lewis over Harvick right now?
No. I'll tell you, Ray Lewis died out to me when I started playing against him. Like, it changed.
So Harvick too still. Harvick above Ray Lewis.
Well, no. I'm not putting Harvick's top 5.
In terms of people to interview. Okay.
Yeah, for me, it was LeBron, prime time. Well, actually, it's LeBron, Jordan, prime time in no particular order.
Yes.
Yeah, those three, LeBron, Jordan, prime time.
You're putting things in perspective now.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, hey, wait a minute here. Yeah, so those three definitely. Sid the Kid, absolutely Sid the Kid. And then I'll probably put Harvick in there.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta think of another big name here real quick.
Yeah, those are definitely it though.
Really?
I mean, I could really make the list a lot longer, but for just conversation purposes, yeah.
No, I got you. Let me think of a name though real quick. What about like Jay Rice? Joe Montana?
I don't know. It's weird to me when it comes to football players.
Okay.
I think, like I said, because of the profession, like if I never played in the NFL, if I never have met some of these guys, had conversations and stuff like that, or been around Hall of Famers, like I think it would change. But for me, I don't know. It just doesn't hit the same for me, man.
Wow.
Like it'd be fun.
Harvick top 5.
Well, it'd be fun to talk to those guys without a doubt, but it's not gonna, like if I'm
like picking, I think you would be more like
I would be
like
definitely
you said,
more excited
Harvick,
to talk to Harvick.
Top 5. Yeah. I think you'd just be more excited.
I know
it's not a knock. It's not a knock on anyone else,
right.
But I just think with your new NASCAR fandom and Harvick being your guy, it just seems like
he's top 5
he's
right
up
now
there,
for me,
man.
Yeah, because I was like, with my basketball players, they're always going to stand out to me because it's like, that's my first love. Like, I can ask them 1,000 questions. It's always going to be fun to me because I never played professionally. Same with hockey. Like, the only reason I got in hockey was because of Sid. So then from there, it's like, well, I want to know everything. I want to ask some questions, how you think about this and that, what makes this happen and that happen and stuff like that. But with football, I'm like, I'm going to ask you a question. You can give me stories. The stories part are cool, but other than that,
you know too much.
I'm like, I already know that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same for me. So that's the difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, you think when we have these conversations with some of the people we interview, like, I want to know like stories. Like, let's talk stories. Don't hit me with what was your mindset here? Because I've been in the locker rooms. I'm pretty familiar. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to know the mindset. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to understand, okay, that adversity. 9 times out of 10, I've heard, okay, yeah, it was like this, we were doubted, or I had a bad this, and then I bounced back, and then I had to do it because I had to be mentally strong, but I had to make sure I was putting the work ethic in. It wasn't easy. I thought about quitting, but bam, I had it. I overcame it. Like, I got it. You know what I mean? Or we talking X's and O's. Yeah, well, and then when I saw that dude flash right here, I knew I had to go over here and then cut this way, and I saw that guy. I'm like, I got that. All right, cool. But it's like certain things like, okay, Jerry's probably a cool story about him and Steve Young or him and Montana or like that type of dynamic. But other than that, like it's not gonna, the whole process wouldn't feel the same for me as from start to finish with Kevin Harvick. I'm gonna be like, dang, word, oh, that's crazy. So yeah.
What about Iverson?
Well, yeah, because basketball, and he's from the crib too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Harvick over him still, like right now? I feel like Iverson would be a great interview.
Well, Iverson is always going to be biased because he's from my hometown.
Okay.
Like anybody from my hometown. Like Vic, Iverson, Plax, like it's always going to be different. Just because it's like, oh, no, y'all from the crib. Like, it's different. You know what I mean? Like, 757. Or any of us that make a pro, it's like, yeah, we got this. It's a bond. It's special in that regard. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's why I still, like, I would love to do it. But
I'm just trying to think
of
of like legends and stuff. Like, even like current ones like Curry, Durant, Harden. I feel like you'd still have Harvick over those guys, right?
Well, I was actually flirting in my mind about saying Harden because I don't know. I love his one-on-one game. It's crazy, but I don't know. But the thing is, any of those guys still have a chance because it's basketball. Like you could name off basketball players, and I'm going to get excited. Like, yeah, I'd rather talk that. Like that's fun.
Yeah.
Whereas with Harvick, because it's just Harvick, like we can't go down the list and say, okay, well, what about Denny Hamlin? What about Brad Keselowski? What about Eric Amarillo? Like. Yeah, it's gonna teeter off. Whereas with basketball, you're gonna be able to name 30 basketball players.
All those guys are gonna be in competition with Harvick for that.
Exactly. Whereas with Harvick, it's just Harvick.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the dudes, I'm not gonna be over here like, oh man, that'd be fun to talk to this one. Oh man, I can't wait. Like,
hey, maybe in 5-10 years,
you're right. It could change, man.
You might have that, just affiliation or that love for NASCAR at that point.
I mean, you gotta think I'm only 3 months into this. What's August right now? I started watching this in what?
You're on a crazy pace.
When did I start watching?
March, like April, May, whenever NASCAR started back up.
It had to be April, May time frame. Yeah. So I'm still new, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, that was interesting. I was curious about that.
Now you got me thinking, man. Like, hey, who would I be more excited? I think when we talk just all the time, people I want to interview.
Brady's not in the mix.
I told you, my relationship with Brady is different. Like,
because you know my top 5. It's got to be Ben, Brady.
Mm-hmm. But yours would be heavy football dominant.
Tiger Woods for sure. Those are probably my top 3. And then you throw LeBron in there.
AB?
And Jordan. That's it.
What
AB's I'd say top 10. I'd probably have those 5 that I rattled off. Those would be top 5.
Okay. I'm trying to think who else, man. What about Peyton Manning? Would you Peyton Manning?
Those are my 5.
Drew Brees, no?
I mean, like you said, it'd be nice, but I think those 5 are in a class above. And I'd probably put AB over. Tomlin's up. Tomlin would be a good
Tomlin's
one.
up there.
Tomlin would be sweet. Yeah.
So you already did Cowboy, you already got Bettis, you already got San Antonio. Joe Green?
Oh, that'd be badass. That'd be really bad.
Yeah.
Actually, out of those guys, Lambert would probably be the sickest. I think.
Ooh, okay.
Lambert would probably be the sickest because from everything I've heard, he's kind of like secluded. You're not going to get much access to him, so that would be that'd be a really cool one.
Okay, I like that. And I don't know why I think Lance Armstrong. I'd throw him up there too.
That'd be a good one. Did you see the documentary?
I did, and that played that like revamped a lot of them thoughts. Like, cause I remember, I mean, obviously that was part of my age group when I'm like growing up watching this stuff. Me and my pops, like, I used to want to have my little Tour de France outfit. And I remember when T.O., because that's back when I was a Cowboys fan, he comes to Hard Knocks. Remember, he's like working out. He has the full like Tour de France biking outfit on. So yeah, man, like, that's probably another one. He's in the mix.
That's funny, dude. Yeah. That's an interesting conversation. It does get you thinking.
It does, and then obviously
I gotta fill out my top 10 now. I gotta fill that out.
Yeah, I'm over here like if I include like my UFC fighters, my boxers, like Mayweather's gonna be in there.
McGregor's gotta be up there.
Well, I'm a big Conor guy, absolutely. Like, so all of those guys are gonna be in the mix. That's gonna change a lot. I mean, shoot, I still want to talk to Ronda Rousey because you think about like before she got beat.
Oh, yeah.
Like she transcended the sport from the women's side of it And I mean, it was one point where she was almost bigger than the male fighters. Like, it was crazy.
Oh yeah, for
like,
sure.
Just to like, all right, what was that thought process? Like, how did you prepare? How did you stay up? Like, and even when you got beat, like, what made you want to get back in the ring? I mean, even though you still lost again, like, what made you say, you know what, I want to come back to that? Like,
yeah, actually, fighters would be really good.
Yeah, like, we talk about like my passions, bro. Like, basketball is number one, but boxing, like any type of combat, UFC, MMA, boxing, like that's definitely number two. That's signed, sealed, delivered. NASCAR's flirting though. NASCAR's in the mix. Obviously, football is always going to be top in there, whatever, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just different for me, bro.
Dude, that's interesting. Yeah. That's interesting. I think I'm gonna try to fill out my top 10, dude. Whenever
we might need to do this, man.
I'm gonna think about it for sure. I think the 5 that I mentioned, those were locks for my top 5. I don't think anything's changing that.
All right,
but man, yeah, I got to think of the rest of my top.
You
5.
put me on the spot with this one, man. I was not ready. I'm like, yeah.
Well, let us. This isn't set in stone. Yeah. Let us know next podcast if you think Harvick's still top 5.
I feel like he's gonna be top 5. Bro.
You think? Okay.
I think he will be.
That's how much love you got for Harvick right now.
Top 5, yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's good. Absolutely. That's good.
I mean, my top 10 is gonna be like the who's of sports. You know what I mean? Like, if you make my list, it's important. Yeah, it's different for me, bro.
Harvick's become that culture icon out there now.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's what got me into NASCAR. He's kind of like my Jordan of NASCAR. Yeah, like, people were watching Jordan even if they didn't understand basketball, even if they didn't want to watch basketball. It was like, I'm watching Jordan. Same way people were watching Floyd Mayweather, they didn't even like the fight. My wife was over here like, oh, is the Mayweather fight coming on? I'm like, you don't even want to fight. You only want to talk aggressive to me. Like, what we talking about here? But it's Mayweather. It happens. You know what I mean? Like, I remember growing up, my mama watching Roy Jones. I'm like, my mama don't want to fight nobody. What we talking about?
Harvick's that guy for NASCAR now.
That's how he is for me. Yeah, I tune in faithfully. Think about, why would I be tuning? I had nothing to like draw me to it beforehand. You know what I mean?
So you're saying there's no one? I mean, I guess you don't have that Jeff Gordon guy. You don't have Jimmy Johnson in his prime.
Well, for me now, like I said,
Earnhardt. So is he the guy then? Like, is Harvick legitimately it?
Well, this is the thing. We talked about like the different stages of it, right? You got Jimmy Johnson who's on his retirement tour, right? So he has all the fanfare. You talk about Harvick tying 10th. Jimmy Johnson's like top 6 or 5 all time.
But like, that's what I mean. Like, in his prime, he would be the guy that you would tune in for NASCAR for, those like, guys would, 5-10 years ago.
Whereas Harvick,
Gordon, Earnhardt.
Mm-hmm. So like with Harvick has the longevity and he's just hot right now too. So yeah, it's adding a lot to it. And it's the perfect storm too with the whole pandemic. You know what I mean? It makes it where there's really just isolation on NASCAR when they're having their races, because it's not like when their races are going on, it's not like traditional times where, oh, well, I can watch this sport and that sport and that sport and that sport. It's like, no, you got a bubble game that's on TNT or ESPN. It might be a trash bubble game on top of that.
Did you watch last night?
Bro.
I caught the fourth quarter Kuzma game winner.
Bro. I'm so sick of them right now, bro. I'm so sick of them. I'm just throwing it out there, bro. I find the most pleasure watching Dame Lillard. That's it, bro.
Oh, man. Yeah. So you're a believer in the Blazers?
Well, I said that the other day, too.
I know, but now they're going to be facing the Lakers if they make it. What are you thinking, dude?
Man. I ain't tripping on it, man.
You're just going to close your eyes? And
No. See, that's the thing with me, man. Like, it's not going to really affect me one way or the other. Because, like, I don't know. I mean, I want LeBron to win, of course, that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, if the Trailblazers get crazy and go to the finals, like, I'll be like, heck yeah. Like, I love Dame Dollar. Like, that boy nasty with it.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just weird. I don't know, man.
You getting that bad feeling, too, about the Lakers here?
No, I'm not saying that. Like, this is the thing with the Lakers. If they go out here and dominate the playoffs, it would not surprise me. If they go out here and get beat in the first round, it would not surprise me.
We're only
either,
going off what we're seeing, and it's just
right. That's the thing.
And this isn't like normal playoff time.
Correct.
Either, where we know, all right, playoffs come, like with LeBron's Cavs.
Yes.
You see them be crap in the regular season for stretches, and then it's like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But then you're wondering here, like, does this matter at all? That's the question. I don't think it does, but you only can go off what you see, and it's not the prettiest right now. Clippers ain't playing that good either.
Well, but the difference is the Lakers have been in full strength. I mean, minus Rondo, obviously he'll be coming back hopefully within the next week or so. Whereas with the Clippers, they've had players missing, they've had players injured, they've had a lot of variables in there, and they're still finding ways to at least be in the mix, squeeze a game here or there. So I think that's the difference. But I don't know. It's just for me, like with the Lakers, like I said, if they go out there and they play like how we've seen them playing in these 8 games or whatever, yeah, they should be out in the first round. Like, no question about it.
Denver didn't even have their top guys in.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. But then I can see a scenario where, it is like LeBron Cavs where he's 0 dark 30, and then it's, okay, they here.
That's what I'm expecting.
That's what I'm expecting too. But I'm just like, it wouldn't surprise me if it didn't happen.
It's
especially
weird
under these circumstances.
Well, just with the Blazers team, you're getting a throwback Melo, this Trent dude stepping up, McCollum, Lillard, Zach Collins, Nurkic.
And you got a pissed off Lillard too, man. When bro, I don't know why Patrick Beverly is like irking me, bro. Like, it's something about the dude.
I know. I agree, dude. It's just stop talking. Stop.
Right. You popping off a little too much for me, and we know your role, buddy. All right,
Paul George, talk as much as you want,
Kawhi.
unless you're talking to some of the GOATs in the league right now, like Durant, LeBron, Steph Curry. Right. You can't be talking to them like that. But
this the thing, man. What does Paul George accomplish in the playoffs? Outside of, I think it was 2013, 2014 was the last time they advanced out the first round.
But that's my point. Outside of like, you got your 5 or 6 guys that have rings, that have the accolades. Outside of that, you could talk because you're probably the cream of the crop of the rest of the players. But yeah, dude. I mean, so Lillard and George, they're on similar. I guess you could say you like Lillard more just because he has.
Yes, give me
just
Lillard
because he has stayed, and that whole thing that he was making an argument about on Instagram that like, yo, I ain't chasing rings and going from team to team. I'm here. If you want to say that's more impressive and put Lillard above George, I'm not opposed to that. But I don't know. George is really good.
George is really good, but this is the situation that I'm always going to fall back to. George is the Robin right now. When George has been Batman, what has George been able to accomplish? That's the difference. Right now, it's easy to play Robin. We talked about with KD when he teamed up with Steph Curry and all those guys.
They did go to Game 7 against the Heat.
That was 14. That would have been 2013, 2014. That was the last time that he's done anything, and that was with him.
He was
George Hill,
then he was out for that full year,
Hibbert,
though.
When he broke his leg.
Yeah.
Then after that, he came back, led him to the playoffs. Then from there, was it the next year when he ended up being OKC?
Yeah. His last year with OKC was really good, though.
Yeah, but
really good.
There'd be
an argument that he was actually the better player than Westbrook.
Well, yeah. But the thing is, Westbrook is more is just the gritty, explosive, what he's going to do.
He's going to put up the stats.
Yes. Whereas Paul George is going to be more efficient. He's going to be the all-around better player, but he's not going to be the gaudy stats like you see with Westbrook, where he's going to do whatever it takes to get that triple-double. We know that. Like, we're not seeing that with Paul George.
Yeah, Blazers were in the conference finals last year.
Yeah, Blazers. That's the thing with the Blazers.
But you go up against Golden State like that,
and it was healthy Golden State. It wasn't injured.
No, they didn't have Durant though.
Bro, they were still healthy. Let's stop playing.
I know that's still a great team.
Yeah, don't do that now.
But still,
don't do that now. Don't do that now. Don't do that now.
That's tough.
Before Durant came there, what was this team? What were they?
Champions.
They had the greatest regular season record on top of that too, right?
But they won.
So don't hit me with this whole Durant was out, so that changed everything. No, it doesn't. Even with no Durant, they still were a stacked team. That's
still a great team. It's a great team.
You said it as if that was something like, Durant wasn't out there.
To get swept like that, that's tough.
Bro, they won 73 games like that. What are we talking about here? Jordan didn't do that.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's a great team, but to get swept.
So you get swept by a team that's won 73 games.
The Rockets took them to Game 7, though.
Man,
actually not that year. That was Game 6.
The other year, yeah.
It was Game 7 the year before. That was with Durant.
But that was without Steph, though. No. Steph because remember Steph hit his head.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Steph hit his head, and that was the year when Chris Paul pulled the hammy. Yeah,
I don't think Curry wasn't out for those.
Bro, Steph did miss time. He hit his head.
I don't think.
Yes, he had missed a game or two in that series.
Maybe I don't think Game 6 or 7 though.
He missed a game or two in that. He definitely missed like 2 games in that series because he hit his head.
Paul missed the last 2 games.
Yeah, because he had the hamstring. Mm-hmm.
Dude, just the end of the day, the Warriors they're a great squad, but still,
they were.
For the Blazers to get swept like that, it's tough.
What are we talking? How is it a bad situation when the team without Durant was a 73-win team? Without Durant was a 73-win team. What are we talking about here?
You like Lillard, huh?
No. I'm just saying in general. What was the difference?
What do you mean? swept?
Yeah, by a 73-win team because Durant wasn't there. They still were a 73-win team, correct?
Yeah, the year prior. I mean,
and what did they change on the roster? Nothing. They got better.
You could say, well, that was 2 years ago. So,
bro,
you could say they're a little older. Iguodala's not the same.
Nah.
I'm not saying they're not a great team, but it's just disappointing for the Blazers to get swept like that.
Stop it, bro. Shoot, LeBron got swept back. What are we talking about?
Did they? I thought
they won the one. No, they won the one game the first year and then got swept the next year.
I think they did.
Yeah,
but
because I was one with JR Wade.
That Cavs team was a mess, though.
I'm just saying, bro. You still had LeBron.
Huh? I know, but that Cavs team was bad.
Still had LeBron. And that first year they had LeBron and Kyrie.
Yeah, I know that series was closer than what it ended up being because they had a chance to make that 2-2.
It still looks the same, bro.
I know it was, but what can you do? That's with Durant. It was just too much.
It's stacked team, bro.
Now I know we've talked about the whole Durant with his decision and everything before, but I mean, would you take Warriors over Bulls? We're getting way off track here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 17 Warriors versus Bulls, real quick.
I'm taking the Warriors just because they got the better shooter.
That's
they
what
got
I
the more
thought,
athletic
too.
team. Yeah,
That
and
team's just
they're
way too
deeper.
stacked.
Yeah, people will give you the Jordan nostalgia and say, "Well, Jordan would find a way." Okay, we saw that with LeBron too. He was finding a way. Remember, he went on a tear where he was finding a way.
In that game one.
Yeah, it don't matter. That team was too stacked, bro.
If you got Iguodala as your fifth guy, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's too stacked, bro.
Yeah. Are we good with that? Is there anything else we want to talk about in terms of NBA? We've been all.
Yeah, we did kind of go. I don't even know how we got to NBA, man. But yeah,
you mentioned something about the NBA bubble, and I was just like, "Hey, did you watch the Lakers game last night?"
Yeah, like I said, between the Lakers' piss poor performance and Zion Williams minute restrictions, they not even playing him.
They're
tonight.
Done. No, they should. They shouldn't play him at all. They're out of the playoffs.
Terrible, man.
You got to be done. You can't be doing that.
But I was watching them in that quote unquote must win game versus the Spurs, and I was just like, yo, this is trash, bro.
Who, Zion or the Pelicans?
Just in general, watching the Pelicans team, because the only reason I was watching was because of Zion. And at the time, like I don't know what it was. He ain't look like he was enthused to be out there either. But now I will say he does still look a little puffy. That
it's weird because you saw an Instagram post like a month or so ago where he was like leaned out.
Yeah,
could it have been the lighting? Could it have been
I don't know, bro. I was watching like, God,
it had to have been. They probably had him flex a little.
So you
bit.
Agree with me though?
Like, he looked way leaner then.
Yeah, but now you're like,
oh yeah, he's big. Harden's big too. There was a picture. Dude. There was a picture like 2 months ago with Harden. He's out in like the Sahara Desert. or something.
He looks like super tiny, bro. You were like, whoa, what?
He came back. He looks big. Yeah. I was gonna say, I wonder if it's the Orlando food or something. I don't know,
bro.
They're able to feast on that shit. I have no clue.
It's different watching. I'm like, whoa, what is here? But then the flip side, LeBron looks like super skinny.
Yeah,
but I'm like. Is because it's playoffs mode, LeBron. Like that's what I'm just gonna chalk it up to. But he looks like really, really thin. And then Melo, we see what he looks like. Like it's crazy.
Looks good, man. He looks good.
Hot right now, bro.
They look like a good team.
Yeah, I like it, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's coming up next week. Or what day is it?
No,
end of this week.
Yeah, end of this week because it's Tuesday. So yeah,
I'm excited, dude.
I like it, man. All right, so now we get to what we came to talk about, baby.
Sure, dude. Get my computer out. I'm on a run here. We got we agreed. We did 2 offense the first time.
What you got for me, Deke?
Oh, you're saying this is my decision?
I thought you was about to start the conversation out. You was just leading us on into this thing, and I was like, all right, Deke, go ahead, keep taking the driver's seat, baby. Let's ride.
Well, we did 2 offensive positions. And we're gonna do 2 defensive positions. It was an agreed upon principle last podcast.
Agreed upon in principle.
So we're doing top 10 cornerbacks in the NFL for 2020. So you want me to start off with my list?
You might as well, man. I love to hear your list first.
There's a lot of good cornerbacks in the league.
There actually are.
There's a lot.
I'm not gonna lie. Before we even say our list, this was a lot harder than I thought it would be.
It was harder than receivers for me and running backs.
Dude. It definitely was. It definitely was.
Because there's probably 5 or 6 guys you could be putting in that 10 spot.
Easily.
But I went with my heart on my 10 spot.
Okay.
And I got Joe Hayden at 10.
All right.
Darius Slay at 9.
Mm-hmm.
Marshawn Lattimore at 8.
Mm-hmm.
Marlon Humphrey at 7. Richard Sherman at 6.
Okay.
Marcus Peters at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Peterson at 4.
I like it.
Tre'Davious White at 3. Jalen Ramsey 2. Stephon Gilmore at 1.
I like it. Okay, that's clean.
You thought I was gonna forget about Peterson, huh?
No. I trusted you. It was some other names I was worried about, but I figured you would do what you did, and it was clean. It was clean.
I think that's a pretty
Any
damn
honorable
good list.
mentions you want to throw in there? Or are you good?
No, I'm good. They didn't make the list.
Okay. And I feel like I'm supposed to put, because you sent me a picture the other day too,
I forgot.
and I was supposed to let you know I had a bone to pick with you about that.
I forgot to put honorable mentions.
Yeah.
How do you? I gotta look at the picture. I gotta see if there's space where I could. 'Cause it might just have to be words, dude. It might not be able to put the picture up. Do you want the picture?
No, that's all good, man. I was like,
look,
ooh, conveniently left my honorable mention off.
I completely forgot that. I completely forgot. I just got reminded right now,
right.
And it was Adam Thielen. So I don't know, dude, because you got 5 on one side,
You're right.
5 on the other.
You're right.
It's not just all art, there's some math to it where you gotta make it fit the picture. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to.
Hey, look, man, a wise man once told me, "Don't tell me about the labor, just give me the baby." All right.
All right. Do you want his picture though? Is the question, because
I don't need a picture, man.
I got pictures for the top 10. All right, so I'll put honorable mention Thielen.
Yeah, I just want the honorable mention up there, man. It's all love, though.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any honorable mentions on your list?
I'm good, dude. I'm good. I'm not worried about it.
Cool. Okay, so for me, man, I'll start.
I could. No, I'm not worried about it because there's like 3 or 4 names I was considering, but
same here.
There wasn't one person where I was like, I'm agonizing over this.
Got you. All right, so for me, man, at number 10, I went Steven Nelson.
Whoa.
Yeah, I knew. I was saying when you said Joe Hayden, I was like, oh, perfect. All right, I know exactly how we flip flopped here. All right, so yeah, I went Steven Nelson. I went Marshawn Lattimore at 9. I got Richard Sherman at 8.
Whoa.
Patrick Peterson at 7.
Whoa.
Darius Slay at 6. Marcus Peters at 5. Marlon Humphrey is at 4. Jalen Ramsey at 3. Tre'Davious White at 2. And then Gilmore at 1. So
That's
very similar. I think the 2 biggest discrepancies is where you have Darius Slay, Peterson, and Richard Sherman are our 3 biggest discrepancies. And I think
I have Sherman at 6. Where do you have him at 8, 7 or 8?
I have him at 8. And then you have Marlon Humphrey at 7.
Yeah.
And I have him at 4. You had Darius Slay at 9, right?
I do have him at 9.
I have him at 6. And then I went Steven Nelson and you went Joe Hayden at 10.
I'm actually pretty interested in the Joe Hayden.
I'm interested in yours as well, man.
Well, dude, here's the thing, because I'm looking at PFF. I use it as reference.
Yeah,
you got to use it as reference.
No, you do. You definitely do.
Because there's certain things about it I'm not really going to buy into, but it's like one of those things where, all right, what are they seeing to have someone ranked so high? Dude, they had Steven Nelson ranked 7 in their cornerbacks from last year.
Yeah.
They had Joe Hayden actually worse than Mike Hilton. They still had Joe Hayden in the top 25. I think they had him at 25 though. What am I missing here, dude? Because Joe Hayden, I'm presuming, is covering their top receiver, and he had the 5 picks last year. He's got the name recognition. He's got the Pro Bowls throughout his career. So, and he's been pretty much locked out. I can't really think. Yeah. I know with Steven Nelson last year, John Brown went off against him. I can't think of anyone that went off against Joe Hayden. So what am I missing there? I mean, I'm going to stick with Hayden, but I'm actually just curious about your perspective of Nelson over Hayden, because you hear people on Instagram, you post something out there that will say, I feel like Steven Nelson's better than Joe Hayden. I've never really understood that, so I want to hear this out. Yeah. So with Joe Hayden and Steven Nelson, unlike some of these other top tier corners, this is why I feel like they kind of hurt their rankings a little bit. Similar to what was going on in Baltimore, Marlon Humphreys and Marcus Peters, they play more right left versus like a Tre'Davious White or a Gilmore or a Jalen Ramsey who are following their 1. So it's times where Joe's going to see the 1. And there's times where Steven Nelson's going to see the 1. The difference is Joe Hayden was getting the interceptions, so statistically look better. But when we watch the film, how many of those interceptions were last play of the game heaves or fourth quarter heaves when the game? No, seriously. Cardinals, there was one. Cardinals. I can't even. The Browns was another one. He had one with the Ravens. It was at the end of the game, right? So it was multiple interceptions that he had. He did drop a few, though. True. But the thing is this, though. From the stats, we talk about when you just, that's why last time you say the stats don't say the full story, because you look on the paper and say, oh, he had this many interceptions. He had to be balling out. But a lot of those interceptions, when you look at the context of them, it's the equivalent of a guy getting a sack when he was the unblocked rusher.
So, for example, like a Marcus Golden, right, who had the 10 sacks in New York, and everybody was like, well, why didn't he get paid? Then you look at the tape and it's like, well, a lot of this was just off of the scheme. It wasn't necessarily him just flat out dominating somebody, where you look at a guy like TJ Watt, it didn't matter about the scheme. He was just winning. So with Joe's numbers from the interception standpoint, that's why. But when you look at the amount of yards allowed, you look at the completion percentage, you look at touchdowns allowed, Steven Nelson's numbers are up there with Gilmore, up there with Tre'Davious White.
Yep.
But the reason why I don't have Steven Nelson higher is because he's not doing it 100% of the time versus the number one receiver, whereas Gilmore and Tre'Davious, they are 100% of the time locked on that one.
We just don't need that here.
Well, that's why I said it's no different in Baltimore with Marlon Humphreys and Marcus Peters. Like, can those guys shadow? Yeah, we've seen Marcus Peters shadow a guy and get intercepted. We've seen that, but they don't need to when you got another guy that's just as good on the other side. And that's why I say I feel like Steven and Joe, because I had Joe as my next man in, but I'm like, they kind of cancel each other out because the argument is going to be made the exact same way. And for Joe, my argument would be, well, he did get the interceptions, whereas Steven didn't. But then for Steven, I'm like, well, overall, from just a coverage standpoint, yards allowed standpoint, he was the better corner on that statistic. So it's more so what you want. I mean, obviously you could put more weight on Joe Hayden getting the interceptions because those are actual turnovers. But my thing is, when you look at the context of when those turnovers happen, did they really have a weighing on the outcome of the game? Because we knew that Browns pick, I mean, granted, it was still a one-score game.
It out?
It closed it out. Yeah, it was a one-score game.
I guess same with Cardinals. I think that was one-score game too.
Both of them one-score games, but never did we feel, oh, it's in question or, oh, they're about to come back. It wasn't as if they were moving the ball either on either one of those drives. I mean, you look at the Kyler Murray interception, I think TJ Watt is about to smack him and he just throws it up in the air.
The first one in that game was smooth though.
Yes, very well, and that's the thing. Not all of them. That's why I said some of them. But when you look at the context,
he had some drops throughout the season where I think that stuff kind of evens out though.
See, I don't, because when you drop it, you drop it.
I know
that's a missed opportunity.
It's unfortunate, man.
I don't give you a pat on the back for dropping the pick and say, well, you got that one, so it kind of washes. Like, nah, that's not how it works.
The 5 picks make sense though, no matter what. Yeah. Like it could have been more, but I think 5 just for the amount of drops that he had, and you want to talk about it's late game, whatever. 5 seemed like the right number for him last year. Maybe 6. Maybe it should have been 6.
Okay. Yeah. But that was my biggest difference between those two. So I went with the guy that, like I said, even though he didn't have the same interception numbers, from a coverage standpoint, he was the more productive player in that department. So, and my thing is this, man, when your numbers are rivaling Stephon Gilmore and Tre'Davious White,
I know,
it's hard for me not to put you up there, because we know what they did this season from a matching up on number one receiver standpoint, and knowing that, hey, they're getting action. That's the guy that's getting looked at every time. It's easy when you're on the number 2 or sometimes you're on the number 3. That's a little bit easier. But when you're on that one receiver every time, that's option number 1. And if you're not on your P's and Q's, you will be exposed.
It's interesting. Do you think Nelson has like a next level to go, and maybe Hayden has already hit his prime and we're not going to see much more of a peak from Hayden? Mm-hmm. Are you thinking that?
Well, this is the thing. I think Hayden is who he is. I think he's always going to be in that Pro Bowl conversation. I think for the next 2 to 3 years, I still can see him playing at the level he's playing at.
Definitely.
I just don't know if Steven Nelson necessarily has the pedigree to get to Joe Hayden's status. You know what I mean? Because like Joe is a known name. Joe.
Are you just talking about recognition?
Yeah, just recognition in general, just playmaking ability. Like certain things that Joe does is like, yeah, but Joe was a top 5 pick also. So you have to remember, like, in context, it's a little bit different from an athletic standpoint and things like that. Whereas Steven's still on the upswing. He's still trying to get to that level. He had the season in Kansas City where he had the 4 picks, but remember, he was the most targeted player out there. It was different. This year was probably his most complete year, but he doesn't have the gaudy statistics to go with it. So it's like, all right, I think he can still continue to get better, especially playing opposite Joe Hayden. But I just don't know if he'll ever reach Joe Hayden level in terms of just overall playmaking ability, overall, hey, that's the guy that you want on your number 1 receiver every single time, shadow him. I don't know if he will get to that level per se.
Gotcha. I guess that's why I got Joe then. Now, all right, so where'd you have Peterson?
So for me, I got Pat P at 7.
I'm at 4. Mm-hmm. Is there any reason you got him low?
Yeah, I mean, it was a down year for him.
I know. Okay,
he missed the first 6 games, but just from what you just said about Joe Hayden and with Pat P, name and legacy is carrying a lot more with those two. Because that's what, even when you were like, well, when I was saying that I don't think Steven Nelson will get to Joe Hayden's level, that's why I went with Joe. Yeah, if we're talking full body work, but if we're talking about just last year and going into this year, I'm taking Steven Nelson.
Okay.
And that's the difference. Whereas with Pat P, I fully anticipate Pat P getting back to being dominant.
But that's the thing. I don't think it's ridiculous to take in account body of work. Mm-hmm. Maybe you don't want to go back 5-6 years, but you consider even 2-3 years ago. Like what is the average of the past maybe 2 or 3 years in terms of recency stuff? Yeah. And I think Peterson will get back to that. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
And even in the second half of the season, it was just, the difference is this. Patrick Peterson is a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame caliber corner. So your expectations for him are a 10, a 8 at worst. Last year when he came back from the suspension, he was giving us some 7s. It's not the same. You're like, it's cool, but that's not the Pat P that we're accustomed to. Whereas I think him having, start to finish now, training camp.
A little more hope with the team all around now, too. A little more hype and all that type of stuff.
But I will say this, being able to have that time I spent out in AZ with Pat P, he's not the type of guy that it depends on if this team is going to be in. Because let's be real, he's played on some terrible teams in Arizona. Yeah. So it doesn't hold that same weight. And that's the thing that's different. Like, I feel like people that have only been around winning teams, like obviously here in Pittsburgh, it can swing a little. And we saw that last year with the fans, like, when it started getting bad, like, some fans was kind of wishy-washy a little bit. Whereas for players or fans that have been a part of just bad franchise, they go through years of bad, like, it doesn't move the same for them. They're just like, hey, I'm showing up to work. This is what I do. Like, it's not going to fluctuate.
With the Texans.
Right. Like, it's that type of vibe. So with him, Chandler Jones, like, same concept. Like, even though they know, okay, we're not about to even be close to winning the division, they still gonna go out there and ball out because that's just, it is what it is for them. Whereas you get some of these guys on some of these higher profile teams that are in contention, when they start, oh man, we only won 6 games, man, bump this, man. I'm about to get a trade. I'm trying to get up out of here, man. I don't want to play. I'm about to fake this injury. Like, it's different.
Are you talking about anyone specifically?
I don't name drop. Come on, baby. I do not name drop.
One of those names might be on the list here.
Hey, like I said, I ain't going there, man.
I think he had a good reason to get out of there.
I ain't going there, man.
That place is dismal.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I ain't going there, man. He nice though. He's definitely nice.
I mean, do we want to talk about him? Is a lot of his. I mean, you got him at 3. I got him at 2. Mm-hmm. Jalen Ramsey, the numbers aren't completely there, but what is it about his game that's like sticks out? Because we even talked about this whenever they did the trade. Wasn't it 2 first-round picks?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, damn, dude, that seems like a lot. Mm-hmm. And if you're talking about value, I definitely think because the Ravens got Peters in this whole, whatever it was, this 3-team. It wasn't a 3-team move, but it was essentially the Rams trading Peters so they could get Ramsey. Mm-hmm. I think the Ravens got the way better value in getting Marcus Peters. They only gave up a 5th-round pick. Obviously, they gave him the contract, but dude, 2 first-rounders for Ramsey, and people are still talking about him like he's one of these elite guys. Like, what is it about him? Well, we talk about the guys that shadow. He's a guy like that, but more so than that, man. When he's on, when he's inspired, when he's checked in, and when he's healthy. I mean, you can make the case that he's the best corner in the league. Just from an athletic standpoint, he can match up big receivers, little receivers, inside, outside. Like, it doesn't matter. And I like the fact that he talks smack the whole time, too. Like, that's part of his game. That's what he does. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I think the only reason why he's not... Well, the reason why I have him at 3 instead of having him at... I mean, it's hard to... I can never put him over 1 this year because Gilmore won Defensive Player of the Year. That changes everything. If Gilmore didn't win Defensive Player of the Year, well, yeah, you could make it even. And if Jalen had one of his typical seasons, like I said, last year was still a down year for him. But if he had his typical season, I would still make the case of him being 1 because, I mean, number 1, I've played with Gilmore for multiple years, but I've played against Ramsey for multiple times as well. Ramsey's the better athlete. Like, it's certain things Ramsey does. You're just like,
Gilmore's a technician, yes, but from an athletic standpoint, he can't do that. You know what I mean? And that's why for me, like, and a lot of people in the league, they still will lean more Ramsey. But right now, I mean, the year Gilmore had last year, I mean, he was flawless, dude. It was crazy. I mean, and people will bring up, oh man, well, Devontae Parker got off on him. I'm like, if you're pointing to what 1 or 2 plays in that game, hey, all right, but we got a full body of work.
It happens to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely, it happens. I mean, but the thing is, he's still...
And people relish in that type of stuff.
Oh, they love it. Oh,
especially if you're a top cornerback and if you're talking.
Yeah.
Well, Gilmore doesn't talk, though.
He doesn't. Man, Gilmore's super introvert, bro. Like, he's not talking at all.
I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just the media
for the
attention.
Patriots, though, man.
That's probably it.
Play with the Patriots.
Because, like, I don't think anyone would relish in... Like, Patrick Peterson, you don't hear much about him. Like, if he was getting burned, you would never hear about that.
But that's the thing. Gilmore's temperament is very similar to Patrick Peterson. In terms of them being very soft-spoken, they're not the rah-rah type. They get out there and just work, like, period. Whereas then you said you got a guy like Pat P. Not Pat P. You got a guy like Jalen Ramsey. You got a guy like Richard Sherman, who they chirping the whole time.
People love when they get burned.
Yeah. so that's the thing, but it's mainly because Gilmore played number 1 in New England, so you know that's going to hold weight. And then also it's still...
People were talking about that defense being the best defense of all time, too. That was getting annoying. They were playing crappy teams in the first 7
So when that
weeks.
happens, now everybody's like, we're going to find reasons to chop down anything and everything, and yeah. And it just so happened, too, that, okay, it was the last game of the regular season, and then think about, okay, instead of them getting the first round bye, then they end up having to play in the wild card. Then you lose to the Titans. So then it's like, oh, yeah, so even more so. Like,
yeah.
And you're like, dude, those two things, you can't try to compound them together. Like, that Tennessee game was a totally different situation. That had nothing to do with Gilmore. But the first game, you're like, oh, man, if Gilmore balls out here when there's pressure on, then that champ, like, you didn't think Gilmore had pressure all season lining up against these number 1 receivers? Okay.
You got White over him, though, still.
Over who?
Ramsey.
I did, just because when we talked about last year.
And I was talking about this in the Madden rankings. Like, dude, he's really good, man.
Yeah.
He's really good. I'm going Ramsey, though. Name and everything, just reputation. And like you said, just the potential that's always there to be the best cornerback in the league. Yeah. That's why I got to go with him, too. If White keeps it up, though, yeah, why not?
What is the thing? White's extremely young. He's still on a rookie deal. Like, he's still coming into his own. And the thing was, I mean, you look at what he did this season from a statistical standpoint, and it's pretty much identical with Gilmore. The difference is Gilmore had the touchdowns, and that's a crazy stat.
6 picks for White, yeah,
that's a crazy stat. But Tre'Davious, man, he went crazy this year. This is one of them years where you're like, okay, you could talk about a player, you're high on a player, but nobody really thought that he would step into it to the extent that he did this season, because he had a good first year as well, but nobody was like, oh, it's gonna be like that. And that's what he did. And I think ultimately that's why he's getting talked about a lot more. You think about this, right? You talk about the name recognition with Jalen, because remember, first off, Jalen talks a ton. So even before people were really following Jalen in Jacksonville, you knew Jalen because he was talking. Then he had the article where he's like, oh, this dude sucks, that dude. So even with the Jags
he said something about Ben.
I forgot what he said.
He said, like, I ain't impressed with Ben or something like that. Like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was like, give me a break, dude. He just lit you up for what I think was like 5 touchdowns or 4 touchdowns in that.
But that was the same year that they had the 5 picks on him as well,
but that's regular season. And then the next year,
they got the win.
And then the next year, Ben comes back and
he had 2 picks that game too.
Beats him in there. That's just gritty performances.
He had 2 picks that game too.
It's kind of like your boy. It's kind of like your boy Harvick closing it out.
No. Jalen Ramsey said, I'm not impressed with Ben. Or he's like, it was like, I'm not impressed, or it doesn't like scare me like that. And his performances every time he's played Ben have shown.
Give me a break. I just remember that. I think was it the Juju fade route in that regular season
Juju
game?
had the one fade route, but then he had the crazy pick in the end zone. I think the ball, it was either going to AB or he was going to Juju. He had the jump in there pick, and then he had the other pick in the
all I remember from that
game as well.
We're talking about the second regular season game.
Yeah, the one in
season.
Jacksonville.
Yeah. All I remember is the
Ben
Juju
was playing
fade
bad,
route.
and then he played well in the fourth quarter and got the win.
You want me to tell you all I remember is the Juju fade route, the bomb to AB for a touchdown, and then the Ben rushing touchdown at the end. Those are the only 3 plays I remember.
Exactly. which shows. Because that's why I'm like, for Jalen, I'm like, Jalen hasn't got the short end of that stick at all. Jalen has balled out every time he's played Ben thus far.
I mean, dude, that divisional game, though, he completely lit that Jaguars defense up.
No, he did. And then from there, they were one game. should have been in the Super Bowl. Let's be real about it.
Dude, legit. Yeah, if you look back on that game, the refs kind of screwed them.
Absolutely.
They really screwed them.
So if you're Jalen Ramsey, do you really feel as if what you said wasn't backed up?
I don't know. When you're talking about Ben like that, you could rip on Eli Manning, whoever the other quarterbacks was. I think it was might have been Matt Ryan.
But the thing is, when you look at his stats playing against Ben, he simply said that Ben don't scare me. I'm not worried about Ben.
That's fine to not be scared. That's fine. I can't remember what he said. That's the problem. If it was disrespect, then you can't be doing that.
His numbers backed it up. That's all I'm saying, bro. He done had multiple picks every time he's played.
That might have just been Ben giving him a gift.
In 3 games?
No. I'm not talking about the first, or I'm talking about the first one in terms of that was just an overall bad game. But dude, I look back on that AFC divisional game.
That's the only game that Ben has really had the success like that, because you think the game in Jacksonville,
the second regular season, that was a good game though. Like just in terms of closing it out. It was a good
game in the fourth quarter with like 5 minutes left. That was it. It was a bad game. The rest of it.
Closing the deal.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things you can't really count. You know, playing against Ben. And
nah. I don't know what you're talking about. You try to sugarcoat it, man.
What?
Jalen Ramsey, he might have 5 picks in the last 3 games he's played against Ben right now.
No way. There's no way.
He had 2 the last game. How many did he had the first game?
As a team.
No. How many picks did Jalen Ramsey have the first time they played him?
I'm really not sure. It's 1 or 2. Are we looking it up?
I'll just find out real quick.
Dude, we don't have to. We don't got to worry about it.
I just want to see like what Jalen Ramsey was talking about, man.
He didn't do much, I don't think. Looking back, we don't really got to look it up, man.
Well, man, it can't hurt nothing.
It's just I like just.
Nah, it can't hurt nothing, man. This would have been 2017 because that was my last year there.
Are we going to the first game then?
I'm gonna check them all 3.
I'm gonna go to the game logs. Which site are you on?
The only one that matters, Pro Football Reference.
Okay, I'm on that one too.
Yeah, I mean, is there
game log? He only had 1 pick in that game.
All right, and then what
do
you
have in 2017?
Let's see the playoffs versus Pitt.
I don't know if he had one.
Oh, he didn't have a pick.
Like I said, I think it's the team. The team had some picks.
Yeah, because I know he had the 5 picks as a team that regular season Jacksonville game. So he had 1.
There was like 2 at the end of that game. Ben was just tossing up.
Hey,
it just
man,
didn't.
I'm just don't shoot the messenger. I'm just.
It's kind of like what you're talking about with those Joe Hayden picks early on. It was just we're trying to come back. We're trying to sling it around.
Bro. I'm just throwing it out there.
And then
he had 2 picks.
He did have 2.
Second, so that's 3 picks.
We pulled out that dub though.
I'm just saying
3 picks in 3 games.
Yeah.
We pulled out that dub though. My point is for the 2 games I'm talking about. The divisional game, Ben lit that defense up. And in that game, all right, you got the 2 picks, but dude, Ben came back and rallied in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Yeah, so all I'm saying is, did he say anything that wasn't backed up though?
He won the battle, not the war.
But technically
he won the battle.
The war.
No, we won the game there.
No. When he went out, that article didn't say the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to beat everybody. The Jacksonville Jaguars think these teams are bums. These quarterbacks are bums. Jalen Ramsey said that. So the war and the battle was Jalen going out here and proving that, hey, each quarterback that I talked about, I'm going to back it up against. And he did. That's all I'm saying.
Ben got him late in the game, though.
He got 2 picks that game on Ben.
That's cool. Ben pulled out the dub though. That's a gritty performance.
I'm just simply saying for the person that was talking smack, he backed it up.
Like what I'm saying is basically, yeah, Jalen Ramsey is a great cornerback, but like Ben's no chump. That's like to act like he's not gonna be able to come back on you or
to act like he didn't get picks on Ben. No, what are we talking about?
That's cool. A lot of people got picks, but I mean.
We really doing that? A lot of people got picks. That's the argument now, man.
A lot of people got picked. They do.
I'm just simply saying he said that, he's not worried about Ben like that, and his performance backed it up.
He cannot be worried. Just I don't want to hear disrespect. That's all.
I just saying his performance backed it up.
Ben's one of the GOATs.
All I'm saying is Jalen Ramsey's performance backed it up.
Yeah, he did. But what I'm saying is Ben has that type of talent, that type of mental grit, and all that stuff.
Whatever you say, man.
All of it.
You making it personal.
To come back on you.
Jalen Ramsey never said his team was going to win.
I'm actually not taking it personal.
Like you making it into like a Ben/team thing. Jalen Ramsey said nothing about the team, nothing about winning. He said, I'm not worried about that guy. He sucks. That guy sucks. That guy. And he went down the list, and his performances versus each of these quarterbacks, he backed it up. If I say you suck, you talk about I don't suck, and I get 2 picks on you, shoot, I look good. You can win the game, but I look good. I did what I said I was going to do.
I don't know, dude. I mean, that's fine. I just don't know. Like I said, Ben's crazy good performance in the divisional round, and then him coming back against the Jaguars.
Yeah, but what does the Jaguars got to do with Jalen? Jalen simply said that quarterback, not the team, that quarterback.
I just think if he's saying Ben's not that good, we don't know the quote, but if he's saying he's not that
we
good,
got computers right here, bro. Come on, man.
Well, I'm just like if you're disrespecting Ben, then you're wrong in that standpoint. Because Ben came back and won, and then he lit up your defense for it was like 400 or 500 yards and 4 or 5 touchdowns in that divisional game.
I'm just simply saying, man, with his comment, he said he's decent at best. That's what.
See, that's wrong. That's just not true.
I'm just throwing on what he said, man. He said he was unimpressed with when the Jaguars beat the Steelers twice, both in 2017, and he said he's decent at best.
And that was before the second regular season game.
Yes,
but
this is after the two games at Hinesville. This is after both of those games, after the 45 points, all that. So he's decent at best.
Right, and he's off. That's all I'm saying. He's off on that. He's off. That's just not not a good comment. All right, you got your 2 picks, but Ben's not just decent.
Total against him, bro.
That was just a really bad game. The first one. I'll take Ben's last 2. I'll take Ben's last 2 performances over that one.
All right.
If we're doing a best of 3, I think Ben got 2.
What?
He got the dub. Came back, and he lit up their defense in the divisional round. That's what I'm going with.
But the argument that you're making for the third game of Ben came back and won, can't Jalen Ramsey say the same thing in that second game? Oh, he got off, but we won.
Nah, it wasn't like that.
Isn't that not the same? No, think about it, right? So you're saying Jalen in that third game,
the Steelers' offense did what they had to do to get back in that game,
but they lost, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in that third game, Jalen Ramsey and the defense did what they were supposed to do. Remember, during that game, it looked like the Jags were going to win because of their defense.
Our offense came back on their defense.
All I'm simply saying is they didn't do enough, right? Jags defense didn't do enough to win the game.
You could say their offense didn't do enough.
All I'm saying is the same way you coming at Jalen in that third game, you can flip flop it and make the same. I'm not coming at it.
Like, if you get 2 picks, but what I'm saying is Ben's just not decent. He just came back on you. Like that's how good he is to have a bad game in the first or second quarter and to come back on you.
I got that, but if we're going off of the team, because I didn't want to make it a team, I wanted to make it an individual because Jalen has won the war too. When 2 of the games he's played against Ben, he's won. Both regular season and in a critical divisional game on the road in the playoffs.
Back to that divisional game.
On the road in the playoffs.
Come on, dude. The offense.
On the road in the playoffs, he found a way.
Their defense did what they had to do.
They did enough to win.
Who?
Jalen Ramsey in the defense.
Oh man, dude.
They did enough to win.
Come on. But then we got to look at the other sides of the ball. Our defense versus their offense.
Okay. So then that third game, then we can make the same case. The Jags defense versus Steelers offense. The Jags defense did more than enough, but then the Jags offense let their team down. They couldn't score enough.
That's what I was telling you. But then
how are you saying that that's a win for Ben then?
Because the offense literally came back in the second half on their defense.
What? You're not hearing yourself, man.
No, I am.
Either way, if you want to make it at best a wash for those 2 games, he still has the rubber match because he had the first game too.
I don't want to say wash, no.
So that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't be a wash. It would be a win for Jalen.
No, I'm not.
Whether it's individual or team stat.
Dude, I'm not. See, that's the thing. I'm not worried. See, you're going down a path I don't want to be going around. I just think he's wrong in saying Ben's decent, and I think Ben proved it to him in those 2 games.
Well, I will say this. I think he's wrong in saying Ben is decent at best. But I will say that Jalen did back up whatever he was saying, though, with his performances in those 3 games.
That's fine. And that's
all I'm saying.
I'm not saying anything again. Like, he's a great cornerback. Yeah, he's a great cornerback. I'm saying,
man. I felt like you was trying to make it like Jalen was a bum because of what he said about Ben. And I'm like,
you were trying to take it.
No, I'm serious. I'm like, you kept wanting to make it a team sport.
What?
You kept wanting to go with the team argument of, man, he came back and got this win, gritty performance. They found a way to get it done.
He did.
That's a team thing, though. We're talking about wins, losses, team thing. And then you made the comment that, Ben won the war because he won the game. You said that.
No, not the game. In both of those scenarios, he did what he had to do.
And Jalen didn't? Jalen's done what he had to do in 2 of those 3 games.
He did.
And he won 2 of those 3 games.
And I'm not
and
knocking
2 of them
Ramsey.
were on the road.
I'm not knocking Ramsey.
1 in the divisional round of the playoffs against the number 2 seed.
I'm not knocking Ramsey, dude. You could just chalk up the first one to just a bad game.
Uh-huh.
But the other 2, divisional, He proved he's not decent at best, and then coming back on the road down in Jacksonville like that.
That's not tough to do in Jacksonville.
Huh?
Don't act like coming back in Jacksonville is tough.
They're supposed to be a good defense. Like
The offense was bad though. Offense was bad though.
I agree. I mean, but were they bad against us in the division? That's my whole point. They did enough. That's my whole point.
And the defense got the stops they needed.
I think our offense
did the Jags defense get the stops they needed to get in the divisional game?
No, I don't think our defense got the stops, dude.
Their defense definitely got the stops. We didn't. They did. That's the difference in the game.
I don't think
they got the stops. We didn't get the stops.
No, not down the stretch, dude. We
just throughout the 4 quarters of the game.
Firing all cylinders.
4 quarters of the game, they got the stops. We didn't. In fact, didn't we have a turn? Didn't Ben have a turnover early in that game?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you do.
I don't remember.
Yes, you do. Because I remember what's on the sign like, oh shoot, it's about to happen again. Because he had the 5 picks the first time. Matter of fact, let me.
Nah, let's not worry about it, dude.
You about to make me.
Why we gotta worry about all this stuff, man?
Hold on, bro. You making me mad now. Now I'm having to reminisce on this because you wanted to bring up this game. Now I gotta be over here. I don't even like that game.
It was an elite game, dude, for Ben. Elite game. The fourth quarter, or not the fourth quarter, the fourth down pass to AB down the sideline for the touchdown, dropping it on a dime. Dude.
Here we go, right here. Let's check this thing out real quick, man. You got me.
You sure we got to check this, man? He did have a pick. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he did ball out though, but he'd have a pick.
Was it 500 yards or was it 5 touchdowns?
Oh, it was 5 touchdowns, 1 pick, 1
over
fumble
400
loss.
yards.
Yeah, 58 attempts, 37 completions. Dang, he threw the ball 58 times that game.
Hey man,
holy cow! All right, I like it.
Dude, he balled out, man.
He did. He
balled out. That's what I'm saying. And the Jaguars are supposed to be the best defense in the league. I've seen it so many times before where we have these supposed best defenses and Ben's still able to light them up.
All I'm saying is Jalen Ramsey balled out in 2 of those 3 games. That's all I'm saying.
Balled out, man.
He got picked. He got 2 picks in one game and 1 pick in another game. That's balling out.
You're right.
What are we talking about here?
Fine. He played fine.
No. Don't minimize it as he played fine. He balled out.
Balled out.
Who was he going against?
Balled out.
Who was he going against? We know who he was guarding. Who was he going against?
I think the
who
problem.
Was he going against?
Bro, I think the problem is I don't know what it is, dude. I'm like in my mind, I think like whatever Ben does. Oh, he just gave those picks to Ramsey. Dude, I don't know why in my mind I can't process.
Because I definitely remember the one in Jacksonville where Jalen like jumps up. He caught things about to break his leg the way he got his foot down. And then he had the one where he's like diving across. Yeah, man.
I can't process it. Dude.
I was like, it wasn't end of the game heave. Like, no, this was like, we talked about the difference with the interception. We talked about it. This was like, legit. He wouldn't took that. That's all I'm saying, bro.
I'm telling you, dude. I think it's one of those things. This, bro? I think it's one of those things I just can't give him. It's just like Ben gave you those picks, dude.
See, this is the issue because you think like that. It makes me have to talk these things out, and then it makes me look like I'm a Ben hater, a Ben detractor. I'm like, no, it's the opposite. I'm putting Ben up there with anybody. Like, but it just looks bad. But it's because you do this. You make me have to do this, man.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
It's crazy.
I think we both agree at the end of the day. Jalen Ramsey, great cornerback.
Well, I mean, we both have the top 3.
In his statement, Ben great. I think we agree with all that.
What did you say again? Though?
Ben great. Jalen Ramsey great. Jalen Ramsey's statement a little off.
Take it how you want to take it, man. Take it how you want to take
it. Dude, I apologize if that was me.
Oh, man, we were good. No, man, it was fun.
Do we have anything else in terms of cornerbacks?
Why did you have Marlon Humphrey so low? Because you had him at like 8, right?
Let's just see him do it again. Seriously, I got Sherman, Peterson.
Oh, man.
I think White's year, that's the problem. I got White up at 3. I do think White was that good last year. He was getting talked about.
And Marlon Humphrey wasn't, though? Marlon was going crazy last year.
He was good, dude. Let's just see
He was going crazy last year. Not just good, he was going crazy.
Let's see it again.
For a while, before people got on the Gilmore train of being Defense Player of the Year, Marlon Humphrey was in that same conversation.
I got nothing against him. Yeah. I just think all these cornerbacks are that good. Do I still just got a little bit nostalgia with Sherman? Maybe you could argue that because
he was all pro this year.
I was going to say there's a lot of people talking him up last year, and some of the stuff in the stats I was looking up. Yeah. Dude, he was up there. He was definitely up there.
I'm not a fan of his game, man. The zone cover 3 scheme, playing only one side of the field, like if you the man, I want you to shadow. If you're the man, I don't want them giving any help. I want you straight. Hey, this is me. I got this guy. I'm following around. That's why even when Richard Sherman was having the debate with Darrell Revis for a while, it was like, well, Revis is following around. Everywhere they go, that's where Revis goes, and he's locking them down. Sherman, yeah, you're phenomenal when he's on your side. But I've seen it where they're just lining out on the other side of the field the whole time and go to work, and you just over here guarding who? Like that bothers me, man. I'm not gonna lie, it bothers me a lot. So that's why Sherman isn't ranked higher on my list.
Understood.
But Sherman's a crazy intelligent player, though, man. One of the smartest dudes you'll be on the field with, man. Can ball out, can do a ton of stuff, but that's the one thing that I feel like is always gonna hold him back when it comes to how I view him.
There was one more thing I wanted to ask too. Yeah. Unless you have anything else.
Oh, no, you got it, man.
Talk about Gilmore being compared to Revis. Where do you stand on that?
You can compare them only in the sense that they both played for the Patriots. They both did the 1 year. Well, I mean, obviously, Gilmore has the long-term deal, but he did what Revis did that 1 year for them. So I think that's the only comparison in that regard.
You're saying Revis, though, easily?
Well, yeah, Revis has done it longer, too. And Revis did it at different, like multiple locations. Like he was the true, all right, I'm going in here, take a 1 year, $60 million deal. Yeah. And I'm just going to follow around whoever. Whereas Gilmore, I've seen him be successful in Buffalo with the scheme there. I've seen him take a ginormous step forward going to New England and taking his game to this level where we never saw to that level in Buffalo. He was still really good in Buffalo, but never to that level. Who was with Revis? I mean, we know with Revis. It wasn't oh, can he get to that? It was no, like, that's Revis Island. Like, that's how that whole thing started, because it was, all right, we're going to play any coverage you want over here, and they just playing man-to-man over here. Like, it was just crazy. It didn't even make sense. It's different, you know? So that's why, for me, like, I'm not about to put Gilmore or any of these corners in that conversation with Revis just yet, because Revis did it for so much longer. Revis was doing it regardless of scheme, regardless of team, regardless of if they were winning or not. Remember, he did it in Tampa, too. Coming off the ACL, and it was like, Tampa kind of trash, but Revis still did his thing. So that's kind of how I always view that. So that's why I'm not, the only comparison that you could throw with Gilmore is they both played with the Patriots, and they both had that 1 year where, all right, they went crazy up here. But other than that, like, I'm not ready to put them in that vein yet. Yeah.
Understood, man. I don't think I have anything else in terms of like the list, unless you're thinking of anything.
Nah, man. I think because the thing is, we have a ton of the same names up here.
Yeah, true.
It was just a couple spots off. That was it.
We didn't. Are the only guys missing? Like in terms
Xavier
of
Howard, Byron Jones?
No, I think in terms of, I'm missing Nelson on my list, and you're just
I'm
missing Hayden.
Joe Hayden.
Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. And then all of our players are just mixed match?
Our top three are the same. We both have Peters at 5. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much very, very similar.
I think if you broke it down, where do you have Slay at?
I got Slay at 6.
Okay, I got him at 9. I guess if you just look at how
5 through 10, I
probably got the Peterson, Sherman, like that.
Because you got Marcus Peters at what, 5?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, so I have him at 5 too. So 6 through 10, I think, is where we have the biggest discrepancy, because our top 3 are the same. We just flip flop Tre'Davious and Jalen.
Yeah. That is what it is, dude. I guess just personal preference.
That's pretty much what it is when you come to those guys, man.
Yeah. Kind of like we were talking about with the receivers. In my opinion, that 4 to like 7 or 8 slot, it's just like, all right, any given day, you might be putting someone over another.
Man.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking with this. Anything else, dude?
Man, that was fun, man. I think we cooked that up nice, man.
I had a blast. I feel bad if like we went down the whole Ramsey Ben thing. And
it's cool, man. You know how it goes, man. Anytime we talk in the corner, you brought it up though. Just remember, I want you to remember you brought it up, because you said, oh man, didn't he have them comments on Ben? And then we started to go down that rabbit hole. That was you. I didn't bring that up. I wasn't even thinking Ben today.
I think you didn't want to let it go. That's the thing.
Well, because you were trying to take shots at Jalen in the process. Yes, you were.
I was just trying to let him know that his comments are a little misguided. He's a great cornerback. I got nothing bad to say about him.
Ben won the war. Ben got the victory. I'm like, they played 3 times. Ramsey won twice. And he won on the road twice, and he won in the playoffs, and he got the interception. He got the statistics. He got the team victories. He got the bigger victories.
That could be a good question.
Got the more clutch time performances.
Who won the battles and who won the wars?
That's all I'm saying, man.
I think I'd give the battle 2 and 3 to Ben. I think.
So how did Ben win when he got knocked out the playoffs at home?
He did what he had to do.
He got knocked out the playoffs at home.
Offense versus defense, they did what they had to do.
But he got knocked out the playoffs at home.
And then the same thing for the third game. Offense did what they had to do. Rough start, but did what they had to do. Finish it out.
And you just forget about the first game, right?
Win those battles, yeah.
And then just forget about the first game.
I don't forget about it. I'll give that to Ramsey. I just, it was just a rough game.
You're funny, bro. You are funny. Anywho, man, that was always good. Always a fun convo, man.
It was a blast, dude. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope listeners enjoyed
man.
it.
Man, you know they enjoyed it, man.
Yeah.
Yes,
we talked a lot, man.
We did.
Wide-ranging here.
We did. Which is what we supposed to do, man. Give them a little bit of variety and all that good stuff, man.
Top 10 interviews. We would want to top 5
that
interviews.
Just popped up out the blue.
NBA, NASCAR, and then some cornerbacks.
It's money.
That was fun, dude. Well,
I like it, man. So shoot, that was good, man.
You want to close us out?
Yeah, man. You already know, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. All the subscribers, big time. All the listeners as well, man. We appreciate y'all. And until next time.